Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for another stream. We're here for the deadline stream for Game Week 36. So, yeah, hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're up nice and early if you are watching the stream. And yeah, how you doing, Jordan, on this Sunday morning? Oh, sorry, Saturday morning.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Raring to go. Obviously, to do the moves. Very busy week, I think, for moves, especially for Newcastle assets. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting hour.
Yeah, quite a lot to discuss regarding our transfers, etc. Who we're looking to bring in. But yeah, we'll discuss all of this. I think because there's a few red flags in our team as well. Um, yeah, a lot to discuss, really. So I'll quickly read through my team and show you guys how I'm lining up. So as you can see in goal, I do have Edison, who's got Everton away. I am currently playing a back four. I got Estupinian, who's got a double. I've got Botman and Trippier, who both have a double, and I've got Trent as well, who's got Leicester away. In the midfield, I've got Mitoma, who has a double. I've got Rashford, currently, who is flagged, which looks like he will miss that game today against Wolves. I've got Salah against Leicester. I've got Mahrez against Everton. I've got Watkins against Spurs. And then I've got Haaland against Everton. Now, originally, my plan was to actually just do... What was my plan? It was to do Watkins out for Isak or Wilson, one of them. But after considering my options, I think I am going to take a -4, which I'll come on to, in a sec. But yeah, looking at my team, I think the team looks pretty decent. I've got double Newcastle right now. I will have 3. I will be bringing in Wilson or Isak. Most likely going to be Isak, and then captain Isak as well if I know he starts. And yeah, that's the plan really. And in terms of Rashford being injured, obviously it's quite a big blow for Man United, so he's probably going to be on the bench. And my plan is now to bring in McAllister as well for Solly March. Obviously, Solly March got injured in the last game, so I think that's what my plans are going to be: March to McAllister, and then Wilson in or Isak in for Watkins for a -4. And that gives me Brighton assets because they do have back-to-back doubles. So it could be worth bringing them in anyway because they've got, 4 games in the next 2 game weeks. And I think taking a -4 at this stage is worth it. There is a slight part of me that doesn't want to bring in McAllister and wants to bring in someone different, like a Pascal Gross or a Buonetto or Enciso or Welbeck, someone else. But I'll see. Right now, I'm leaning towards McAllister. Jordan, talk us through your lineup as well. How how does your team look, and any transfer plans as well?
Okay, so starting off in goal, we have Steele, who has Arsenal, Newcastle away in the double. In the defence, we've got 3 players: Trippier, who's got Leeds away and Brighton at home. Trent, who's got Leicester away. Shaw, who's got Wolves at home. In the midfield 4, we've got McAllister and Mitoma, who have Arsenal and Newcastle both away, which completes the Brighton triple up for the double. Next, we've got the lowest differential player in my team. That's Gibbs White. He's got Chelsea away. And De Bruyne, who's got Everton away. In the front 3, we've got Isak, who has his double against Leeds away and Brighton at home. And next, we've got Watkins, who's got Tottenham at home. Haaland, who's got Everton away. And on the bench, we've got Ederson, who's got Everton away. Mings, who's got Tottenham at home. Kilman, who's got Man United away. And Rashford, who's got Wolves at home. Now, as you can see, obviously Rashford is red flagged and looks like a doubt for that Wolves at home fixture. Hence why Gibbs White has replaced him in that position in the midfield, which I don't mind entirely because I don't want to transfer Rashford out because I don't know really the severity and how long Rashford's out for, if it's the rest of the season or just for 1 or 2 weeks. But I have brought in Gibbs White because he is my most differential player I could have in my team. And he has Chelsea away, so it's going to be an interesting one whether or not the Forest get anything out of that game, especially Gibbs White. But currently, the captain is on Isak for the moment. That is going to change due to the transfer plans that I have planned already, and obviously McAllister's device. So I will stick to my original transfer plan. I'm going to switch to the up window to show you that. So I have one free transfer and 2.3 million remaining in the bank. So my original transfer plans, if you didn't see it in the team selection, were to take out Watkins and obviously bring in Callum Wilson. So with that in mind, it does complete the triple up on Newcastle and obviously the triple up on Brighton. So I'm pretty much fully stacked with double gameweek players from Brighton and Newcastle now. And I will be captaining Wilson, depending on if we hear any late, or not late, but early team news on Newcastle. It might change to Isak. I want to see if there's any early team news to see who's in the lineup. Because if I know Isak's starting, then I might just captain Isak if Wilson's benched and vice versa. So yeah, that's currently the way I'm going with my transfer plans in this deadline stream.
Okay, we've got Elliot in the chat who says, "Hey guys, play Mings or sell Zinchenko for a -4. Suggestions for replacements welcome. 5.5 million in the bank. 5.5 million to spend on a defender. What are you going to do, Jordan, if you're in this situation? Do you play Mings, who does Mings actually have again?
He has Tottenham at home.
So, I mean, you could play Mings, but if you're looking at bringing in a player, I'd probably look at, if you don't have Trent, if you don't have potentially Estepinian, who's got back-to-back doubles coming up, even Luke Shaw, who has a double next week. Jenny Berry is also in the chat. Good morning, guys. Maybe Tarkovsky to Kvyat. Yeah, that could work. Obviously, Arsenal defense, because we haven't had, well, a lot of us have sold our Arsenal assets by now, but Arsenal do have some nice fixtures coming up, as I could show you on the screen. I think maybe Arsenal players will be decent for the last couple of game weeks of the season because they do have Nottingham Forest and Wolves in their final 2 fixtures, Arsenal. And you probably want 1 or 2 Arsenal players potentially for those games. So, yeah, Kvyat is getting minutes. He seems to have taken over Holding's spot. That could be a decent move. But yeah, in terms of defenders, I would be looking to bring in players with doubles, like an Estepinian, Luke Shaw, Botman, even, dare I say it, if you want a Newcastle defender. I mean, Botman does have Leeds and Brighton, and then Leicester and Chelsea. They're not the easiest games, but Newcastle are playing really well, and it is 2 home games as all to come. The second game in 36 and 37, 2 home games, and Newcastle are fairly solid at home. But yeah, we've got FPL Yellow Army. Hi guys, really struggling between Raya or Kepa. Who would you start and why? And bench order for Estepinian, Rashford, Shaw. Okay, it's a good question. So, taking a look at the fixtures, Raya, Brentford have West Ham at home, and Kepa has Nottingham Forest at home. I think this is a really tough one. I think it's a bit of a flip of a coin. If I'm being honest, I don't really trust Chelsea. If I'm, all being told, but Raya hasn't really kept many clean sheets either. Taking a look at Raya, last time Raya kept a clean sheet, I believe, was game week 33 against Chelsea, actually. It's a tough one, Jordan. Who are you playing? Raya against West Ham. It's West Ham he's got, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray at West Ham or Kepa at
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest at home. 2 home games.
Even though Chelsea had their first win underneath, was it Lampard?
Yeah.
Yeah, underneath Lampard. Doesn't feel with much confidence that Chelsea are back on form. They've had a mixed season. I'll probably stick with Ray if I'm honest, because even if Ray doesn't get a clean sheet, he does get a lot of save points. Because he is a decent goalkeeper for saving, obviously, balls that come towards his goal. I think I'll play Ray. I think I just see more points coming from him, even if there isn't a clean sheet, compared to Chelsea, where they don't really have a structure yet.
One thing I will say about Kepa, though, he does also get save points, because I've had him on the bench and he's been outscoring Edison. But Kepa usually gets like 3 points, even if Chelsea lose, because he always ends up getting the save points. So he might get you a 3-pointer. But look, it's a flippable coin. I think I would probably side towards Chelsea, if I'm being honest. But I don't know. I'd probably play Kepa, but it's a very tough one. Hi guys. Actually, we didn't answer the second bit of the question, did we? Bench order. I think you've got the bench order correct. Estupinian has a double, Rashford, and then Shaw. So, I mean, that's the bench order for me. What about you, Jordan?
I would have wanted Estupinian on the bench though, because he has a double.
Yeah.
Is it possible you can start Estupinian and then obviously bench another player that has maybe a single game week instead?
I think your other player you're talking about is Trent. I think a lot of people are in this dilemma. Do you play Trent in a single game week against Leicester, or do you play Estupinian, who's got a double? And obviously Estupinian has just conceded 5 to Everton, so there are some people maybe put off by it. So where do you stand with that? Would you play Trent against Leicester away, or Estupinian for that tough double against Arsenal and Newcastle?
I think as much as I feel horrible benching Trent, just because Estupinian has a double, I'll take the punt on if Estupinian can outscore Trent, obviously from his single, and hopefully with Estupinian, he does get attack and returns as well. Maybe you can get 2 in the double that he both has, but they are tough doubles, Arsenal, Newcastle away, so it is a bit of a long shot. I understand why that benching makes sense, because the double's not easy for Brighton, but yeah, I'd probably still play Estupinian.
Yeah, FPL Yellow Army also says he'll have to bench Alvarez or Mahrez, or they'll have to bench Alvarez or Mahrez. But yeah, I wouldn't want to bench either of them if they start, but there's no guarantee they do, I guess. Ali Mack also says, what's your views on Martial with upcoming double and Rashford injury? Yeah, I'm not Martial's biggest fan, if I'm honest. I just think he's a pointless player.
Yeah, I mean, a Man United fan as well. I don't feel with much confidence.
He hasn't scored, I don't think, since. I mean, to be fair, he scored in game week 30 against Everton in a 5-pointer. He did pick up an assist against Nottingham Forest in game week 31, Martial. I mean, if you are chasing and you want to, and you hear Rashford's out for the double, the problem is with Martial, he may play 1 game week in that double and then get injured for the second one, or be rested, or be on the bench. So I would rather have Bruno, as my Man United asset. If you can't have Rashford, I know Bruno's a lot more expensive. If not, even someone like an Anthony, I'd prefer over Martial. I'm not keen on Martial, if I'm being honest. Jordan?
Yeah. There is other forwards that you could look to go for.
Weghorst, anyone?
Yeah, maybe Weghorst if you want to go that frustrating route. Or even Garnacho, he could possibly get more minutes with obviously Rashford out. So you could take a punt on these differential picks, like I have with Gibbs White, and see if it works out, because you have nothing really much to lose. I mean, I know Man United don't score many goals in their games, but they need to score and need to win these next few games, because otherwise they'll lose out on top 4.
George Kent with the chat as well. How are we doing, guys? We're well, thank you, George. Hope you're well. Really want to get rid of Grealish this week, but I have Max Brighton already. Any suggestions? Well, Grealish did start in the Champions League on Tuesday against Madrid in that 1-1 draw. So, does he start again? Possibly, and he can come off. I know he was benched in the last game week, so we're not sure, but I would just keep Grealish, I think, potentially. Man City do have a double game week coming up next week, so it's hard to say though with Man City, like who's going to play most minutes in that double game week. Right now, if I had to say, I'd probably pick a defender, maybe a Ruben Diaz to get the minutes, but not much upside really. So it's hard to answer that question. Who you'd want to bring in this week? If you're bringing in players this week, you want, and you're already tripled up on Brighton, then if you're not tripled up on Newcastle, I'd recommend maybe taking a punt on a Newcastle midfielder, like a Joe Linton, like a Willock, someone like that. If you really are chasing and you want to be different, maybe a Newcastle midfielder, because a lot of us have Trippier, Botman, Isaac Wilson, etc. I think the midfielders are underplayed, or maybe underlooked, I should say, for the Newcastle, like Jacob Murphy, even someone like that who can maybe do something a bit crazy in a double game week and get you a massive haul. Jacob Murphy, Joe Linton, Willock, one of those type of players. So that's what I think. Pope or Kepa as well, says Jenny Berry. Jordan, what do you say for this one? I mean, this was quite easy for me.
Yeah, I'd play Pope, Jenny, because he has a double in 36. It's a hard double, but there is a chance that Pope can get save points in it. If he manages to get a clean sheet in one of them, then he definitely will probably get bonus points as well, because it's going to be a really tough one. Arsenal and Newcastle, both away fixtures. So, yeah, I'll just play Pope. I think he can outscore Kepa, even if he doesn't keep clean sheets in both.
I play Pope, obviously the double over the single in that one. No worries, George. Also, guys, please make sure you do like the stream if you haven't already. And also, please do subscribe to our channel if you are new as well. FPL Willock, Isaac, and Gross in for a -4, and Captain Willock. Oh, wow. I mean, I like the moves in terms of Willock, Isaac, and Pascal Gross, as it's quite different. A lot of people don't have Willock, even Pascal Gross. Most of us are on Mitoma and McAllister or March. So that could be a nice differential. And yeah, let us know your rank as well. If you are willing to captain Willock, that could pay off big time if he scores as a differential. But yeah, I'm not 100% certain on captain yet. It's looking like I'm going to go Isaac just because I think he may play a bit more minutes. But if I hear Wilson is starting, then it would be a really nice move as well for Wilson captaincy. But yeah, I think I might make my moves soon. Obviously, we're 20 minutes in already into this deadline. But yeah, I think the moves are okay. What do you reckon about these moves, Jordan?
I think due to the situation, I think they make sense. Bringing in Brighton, long term it pays off because they're back-to-back doubles. The -4 will definitely cover that, even if there is no returns from the Brighton player you're bringing in.
Yeah, because you bring in Brighton, like McAllister, for example, and if he plays both the doubles this week and then both the doubles next week, that's 8 points without him getting any returns. So in that sense, a Brighton asset definitely, I think, is worth getting a -4. I was on the fence, but now I think it is probably worth it. Ali Mack also says Newcastle not great for early team news. Yeah, they don't.
No,
You don't usually hear Newcastle, do you?
No, they're very tight with their team news, which is annoying because this is probably the team news you want to hear this week from many FPL managers, especially if you're bringing in Isaac or Wilson. You would want to know who's starting to get a better idea of who to bring in, I think. But they have a double anyway, so I don't think that really matters much. I think if it was a single fixture, then it would mean more importancy.
Mm-hmm. Is there a chance where Isak's benched, do you reckon? Well, I mean, it's unlikely probably, but do you think Isak can get benched in the first fixture?
Yeah, there's always the chance that Isak can get benched in the first fixture. It's the same with Wilson. He got benched one time and Isak started, so it's a bit of a roll of the dice. I'm kind of hoping both will start, if I'm honest, in at least one of the doubles. And if one of them does get benched in the other, then at least...
Also, the other thing I was going to say, if both start as well, like let's say both of them start together, does that make, obviously that probably makes one of them a risk. That probably makes one of them a risk for that second game against who's the second fixture against? Was it Arsenal? Sorry, Brighton.
Brighton away.
They've got Leeds and Brighton. Yeah, so if they both start against Leeds, who misses out against Brighton potentially? I think because Wilson might miss out that second game, I think. And that where the captaincy worries me. Even Isak might miss out.
Yeah, it's always possible.
Have you considered a different captaincy like a Trippier, by the way?
No, not really, because of Trippier's blanked how many weeks now? He hasn't had a return since game week 29 against Man United, where Newcastle won 2-0.
So that's the last time he picked up an assist, Trippier. I have considered it, to be fair, Trippier captain, just because I know he's going to play 90 minutes in both games. That's 4 points right there. So I'll be 8 on a captaincy. All he needs to get, even a clean sheet, because he hasn't kept many clean sheets, has he? Or any clean sheets until that Man United game you're on about. In game week 29. And before that, 27, he also got an assist. But there's not been many clean sheets from Newcastle at all, really.
The last clean sheet was...
Yeah, he was United in game week 29.
Yeah.
When they won 2-0. But before that...
it was Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace in game week 29, which 21. Feels like a long, long time ago now.
Yeah, between that gap, 8 game weeks before Man United won, where they got a clean sheet. Massive gap for clean sheets with Newcastle.
Yep.
They seem to be on like a rhythm of Man City, where they concede 1 goal or 2, and then get their clean sheet wiped.
Ali Mack, my team looks good for 36 and 37, but terrible 38. Must have 2 frees for 38. Newcastle play today, then Thursday, which is a good break, really. Yeah, it's a good break for sure. And also, one thing about Newcastle, they need to play their best players as well, because they are still in a top 4 race, really. They need to pick up, I think, 2 more wins in their last 4 to secure top 4. So, yeah, look, there's still a lot to play for. What's going on, guys? What do you reckon about Rashford, Anthony? If you want to bring in another Man United midfielder, Anthony's probably the one that you'd look at. But again, I'm not keen on United assets right now, especially with the way they're not scoring goals. I think Anthony has 4 goals for the season. A lot of them did come early. I think all of them came early. I think he scored in 3 game weeks in a row, or nearly around that period, where he scored in game week 6, scored in game week 9, and then he scored in game week 10. And then, obviously, recently he scored in the 2-0 win, what didn't he, Anthony, against Forest? What do you make of this type of move, Rashford to Anthony? It was more expensive, I believe.
It's more expensive, but I don't know. As much as Anthony's evolved, his finishing is a bit poor, if I'm honest. So that would give me frustrations if he does have opportunities and he can't finish them, similar to Darwin Núñez. I don't know about Anthony. I mean, it's a good differential at 3%, but I think I'd be frustrated bringing Anthony in if he can't finish chances he gets created by him.
He does have a double, as we mentioned. Man United do double next week against Bournemouth and Chelsea. That looks like a decent double on paper. Obviously, Bournemouth could be a good game. Even Chelsea aren't playing well right now. even though they did win their last game. So, and Man United have something to play for. They need to get wins. So, again, I think I'll go Bruno, but I know the budget might not stretch. If you can, I'd recommend Bruno Guranch.
Yeah, I think Bruno's the best shout, I think.
Plus, he's on penalties, he's on set pieces, free kicks. McAllister in for March or Bruno in for Saka. I would go McAllister, I think, because he's got double this week and a double next week. I like Bruno as well, potentially for that double, but Rashford being injured, does that concern you? Because Man United are struggling to score goals as it is. And no Rashford now is probably going to make it even more tougher for them to score goals. What's your thoughts on if Rashford out is, let's say he's out for the next couple of games, where does that put Man United in terms of actually getting goals?
Well, to be fair, Rashford hasn't really scored many. As we did speak about this beforehand. But you still have Bruno as a source of goals prior to Rashford, I guess. And I think with Rashford injured, Bruno does play more higher up. So basically, Bruno will have to play at Rashford and get the goals for Man United because I don't really see it coming from anywhere else. But I still think Bruno does do more better when he's more forward, I think, than rather when he's further back. So that gives me kind of a bit of confidence that Man United can still get these goals as long as it's sort of like a feeder for Bruno to allow him to obviously get chances.
Yeah,
like
the injury.
Bruno would.
I'm saying the injury to Rashford could be a decent thing for Bruno in terms of FPL. If Bruno is playing further forward, meaning he gets more chances and he's more of the final third player who's going to shoot more. Potentially, you'd expect Bruno to take more shots. Potentially, because Man United are going to be relying on Bruno probably more for the goals now that they're going to lack potentially with no Rashford. I know Rashford hasn't scored that many goals in recent weeks, but he has pretty much carried United in a lot of these fixtures. I look at Rashford pretty much scored from game week 17 all the way through to about game week 24. He was pretty much scoring every week, Rashford. Obviously, it's dried up a bit, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what United do. Obviously against Wolves at the 3 o'clock kickoff today. Brian says, "Hi lads, Isak captain for me." Nice. I think I'm gonna go Isak as well. If you have Wilson and Isak, who would you captain? Jordan, I'll let you take that one as you'll be in that similar dilemma.
I'm probably going to be captaining Wilson. I think there's not much between it though, to be honest. Going Isak or Wilson, it could go one way or the other, or it could go both ways. There's not really much in it, I don't think, because Isak has pretty much the same amount of potential of a return like Wilson does, but Wilson slightly has an upper hand because he is on penalties, and if Newcastle do get one, then obviously Wilson takes them, whereas Isak doesn't. So that's really the only thing I think that's splitting them between it is the penalty taker, and I'll be captaining Wilson just maybe because of that, I think. Unless I hear Wilson is benched, then if he is, then I would be captaining Isak for the first fixture that Newcastle having a double. And obviously vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. Just looking at Twitter now, see if there's any early team news regarding Newcastle, but I don't see anything. Unless anyone does in the chat, let us know if there's any team news. If you hear any team news and we're streaming, let us know in the comments.
I think Eddie Howe will actually play both, though, because I think Newcastle in the same dilemma as Man United. They need to win pretty much their next 3 to really secure that top 4 place. So there is a lot to play for. Maybe Eddie Howe plays both just to get the job done.
Mm-hmm. And also the other problem about potentially captaining Isak is if they both start, Isak's going to play on the left. So potentially less chances. Obviously, Wilson does take more of the chances when he plays central. But for the Wilson captainers, is he going to start both? Because we know with Wilson that he does get an odd rest here and there because of his fitness. And even he's a bit injury prone. That's the only thing, really. So Trippier could actually be a safe play when you know he's going to play both, but that's whether you trust Newcastle to keep a clean sheet, or Trippier to actually get some assists, which he hasn't done in recent weeks. Brian says, I am forced into a goalkeeper move to fund McAllister. Do you think I should go Forster or Ward? Ward saves me a possibly crucial 0.1, but Edison may be benched in game week 38. I don't think I'd be going Edison at this rate because he's not kept any clean sheets since I've bought him in, I don't think. I wouldn't want Ward, I don't think, because Leicester concede goals like no tomorrow. So there's not many good goalies, really. I'll just go for the... You could just go Ward and go for the cheapest goalie and just... Because how many goalies really are keeping clean sheets right now? There's not many that are getting clean sheets, if I'm being honest. Who would you say, Jordan, you want to bring in?
None of them, if I'm honest, because I don't see a clean sheet from any of those goalkeepers.
I mean, you could just bring Steele in and have back-to-back doubles.
Yeah, you could actually bring Steele in. Yeah, for the back-to-back doubles that Brian do have. I'll probably say that, Brian, if I'm honest.
Jenny, Berry, Odegaard for captain. Interesting. Are you playing Mahrez? Do you think he'll start? Yeah, I am playing Mahrez. As you can see from my team, I'm going to do some transfers actually because I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do one of the moves now. Solly March is going out. Gives me 5.5 million unless McAllister has gone up in price. So I will need to sell. What was I selling again? Watkins. Yeah. So I'll bring in. I didn't realize McAllister went up in price, but I still can afford him. So McAllister will come in, and let's say it's Isak. Those will be my 2 free transfers, and I will be playing Riyad Mahrez against Everton. Do I think he'll start? I hope so. I mean, he didn't play against Real Madrid, and he played in the week before. Obviously, got 2 assists against. Was it Everton? No, not Everton. Sorry, Leeds. I think he could start. Yeah, and I'm willing to take that risk. If he doesn't, then I'll have someone like Luke Shaw to come off the bench and for whatever bar. So I'm happy with that position. I am playing the upside because I know Mahrez, when he does play, he's a big differential at my rank, and he has that potential to get a double-digit haul as he showed last weekend. So yeah, I'm going to play him. Do I think he'll start? I am hopeful. Yes. I have Edison, but the second choice goalkeeper may be crucial in 38 if Edison is benched. Why would Edison be benched in game week 38?
Unless
I mean,
maybe if Arsenal drop points and City know they've won the title.
Possibly, if they've won the title by then, maybe. But I wouldn't be looking into. I mean, I'd just keep Edison for now, and then worry about that in game week 38. It's too hard to plan whether he's going to get benched in 38. For me, anyway, I would be surprised if Edison does get benched. He doesn't miss many games. Even that one game he was benched in, came as a bit of a surprise, and he was straight back in. And Ortega played, I think, game week 32 or something. Yeah, there's always potential of Pep Roulette, but with Edison, I think you just keep him, especially with that double coming up next week. You don't really want to get rid of Edison. I'd probably go for a cheap goalie though, and get money out of the team. Someone like a Ward. Rashford out, says Marjuk. Yes, it looks like Rashford is out with a leg injury. Ten Hag did mention that in his press conference, which is a worry as well, heading into that double game week for next week. Obviously, Man United do have a double with 37. Will Rashford play both those games? If he doesn't, then he could potentially be a transfer out. I don't know how serious that Rashford injury is. Because if it is serious, now there's not many games to go, so he could be one that we look to take out. But yeah. When are you going to do your moves, Jordan? Should we start doing our moves and then do score predictions as well? But I still can't see anything on Newcastle.
No, I don't think we will. But I'm going to do the move anyway, I think, nonetheless.
All right, cool. I'll let you actually hold it back to your screen. I'm going to read a question out. Already had Fernandez, so I've gone. Oh, sorry. So I've gone Rashford to Saka. Okay, yeah, Saka could be good for the last 2 game weeks with very low owned now. I think a lot of us have taken Arsenal players out. No, I will keep him. It's just that 4 second sub on him if he's benched in game week 38. Yeah, fair enough. Is Alvarez going to start? If yes, then I am thinking of bringing him in place of Tony and Grealish to Salah. How will it be, do you think? To be fair, I have no idea if Grealish is going to start. It's just too hard to predict now, I think, with Pep. If he's going to play Grealish, I would be surprised, and I wouldn't be surprised as well, if that makes sense. No idea. I've not seen any team news. Even with Mahrez, it's more in hope that he starts because he didn't play in the Champions League. But there's definitely a possibility Mahrez doesn't start because we know Pep Roulette is strong. David also says, should I sell Grealish for Foden? A lot of Man City questions coming in, Jordan. Where do you stand with the Man City players like Grealish and Alvarez? You just don't know, do you?
No, unless it's like a more nailed midfield like KDB, then I'll probably have more confidence in that midfielder. But with Grealish and Foden, these midfielders, unless we hear early team news, there's no way of telling who's going to really start and who's going to be benched, especially in that Real Madrid game they had midweek. For players that played in that game, they could start in this game. It's like, yeah, it's pet roulette. We don't know unless we have early team news on Man City. I think you have to hope and that there is early team news so you can make the moves, David, if you want to sell Grealish or Foden, if you think Grealish is not going to start.
Yeah, I probably would. Hard to say. I probably would keep Grealish and hope he starts. But they do have a Champions League game coming up. Important one next Wednesday. So it's hard to say what they're going to do. I've got Mahrez, and I'm not even sure about him. But yeah, I'll probably keep him. Let's get a couple of the score predictions out of the way because we are going to probably stream till about 11, straight after the deadline today. I'll keep an eye out on the time, obviously, as well, because we've got to lock in our transfers. I'm probably going to bring Isak and McAllister in. But yeah, let's get some score predictions out of the way because we've got 6 fixtures today, which is quite a lot of football. First up, early kickoff that we're probably not going to get team news for is Leeds actually at home to Newcastle. Leeds struggling, and they need to win this game pretty much to help their relegation battle. And Newcastle are obviously looking for that third spot, top 4 race as well. Where did you see this one going, Jordan, in terms of scoreline?
I think I see Newcastle winning. I think 3-1 Newcastle.
Okay, 3-1. So you're expecting Isak and Wilson probably to have some success?
Yeah, I'm expecting both to have success. Maybe a Willock or Jolinton or a Murphy gets involved as well for those who go different.
Okay, 3-1. Interesting. I'm going to go for 2-1 Newcastle win. I do think Newcastle will get the job done, and I think it's going to be tough for Leeds to stay up. If they need to get the win, though, and being at home, they'll probably have the fans behind them. But it's a massive game for Leeds. Let's move on to Aston Villa Spurs. Obviously, Aston Villa were challenging a bit for the Europa League spots. It has fallen off a bit, as well as Brighton, which I did expect Brighton and Aston Villa to fall away. But yeah, how do you see this one going? Obviously, Aston Villa and Spurs.
Well, actually, I think now Aston Villa bounced back from their losses they've sustained. So it is a home fixture. I'm going to go 2-1 Aston Villa. I think they have this win against Tottenham.
I'm going to go for a 1-1, I think. I don't know why. I think it could be Spurs could struggle here. I think Aston Villa have been all right, obviously, in recent months. Obviously, since Emery's come in. So I think they'll bounce back, but not to a win. They'll get a draw, I think. So I'm going to 1-1 for that fixture. Moving on to Chelsea and Forest. Forest did win 4-3, I think it was, in that mad game. Chelsea did win 3-1 against Bournemouth last weekend as well. Their first win under Lampard. Bournemouth, sorry, not Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest look like they're safe now. So, yeah, how do you see this one go?
It's hard to tell with this one, but when I can't really decide, I'm going to go with a draw. I think potentially 1-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go 1-1, I think. I think it could be a draw. I think Nottingham Forest are playing pretty well. Chelsea obviously get the win, but not sure how they'll do. Obviously, it is a home fixture for Chelsea, so that might help them. But yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in that one as well. Moving on to Palace at home to Bournemouth. Both teams are pretty safe. Really not much to play for. What's your score predictions?
Yeah, it could be an open game for both sides. They have nothing to lose, nothing to gain, so might as well be like a friendly match between them. I'm going to go with 3-2 Crystal Palace.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 3-2 Palace. Interesting. I'm going to go for 2-2. Another draw. I think it'll be high scoring as well, potentially. So it could be, a hole in this game for a Palace player or a Bournemouth player. Moving on to Man United against Wolves at home. Obviously, big game for Man United in the race for top four after back-to-back losses. Rashford is injured as well. Do you see it stopping United, or do you still expect United to go on and get the job done?
I think Man United will have to get the job done no matter what. If they want to
Will
keep
they,
top.
do you reckon, though?
I think they will, despite Rashford being out. I think with Rashford being out, they still have to push forward, get their win, and get those 3 points. So I'm going to go with 2-1 Man United. I think they could still score 2 without Rashford. They'll just have to obviously involve other goal scorers, potentially Bruno and maybe Anthony.
Yeah, it's a big one. Obviously, Man United, they have to win this one. It's pretty much must win, I think. If they lose this, then yeah, it would be bad. But I do see Man United winning this game, especially because it's at home. If it was away, I think it would be a bit tougher. But I'd expect Man United to still get the job done without Rashford. Maybe Fernandes getting on the score sheet. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Man United. I think it'll be tight, but I think they'll do enough to get it done. 1-0 United. Southampton at home to Fulham as well. The final fixture for today. Obviously, Southampton pretty much relegated. Fulham are like mid-table. They're safe as well. So a game of maybe nothing. Do you see, where do you see this one going? Do Southampton have something in them? It looks like they're going to go down.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go down, but they'll still probably try and get the win no matter what, just to see if other teams will drop points near them. But I'm going to go with a Southampton win, and I'll go with 2-1 Southampton.
Ooh, Southampton win. That could be maybe it might be too little too late for them, but yeah. I'm going to go for 2-1 Fulham away win. I think Fulham will probably get the win here. But yeah, I think both teams, especially Fulham, they are sort of on the beach, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll go 2-1 Fulham. Take a few more comments. Bench Stones or me? Brentford have West Ham. I would be playing Stones. Personally, I'll play Stones.
Yeah, I would.
Felix, I'm anxious. Will we get leaked team news? It looks like we're not going to get team news from what I see, unless we've missed some team news. But yeah, it doesn't look like we're going to get team news. So that is annoying in that sense. Just looking if I see any other on Twitter, but I haven't seen anything, to be fair. Have you, Jordan?
No, not a whisper of team news. And this could come last minute, like before.
Yeah.
I don't think we're getting anything from team news this time.
Yeah, I'm probably just going to get Isak in, I think. And just do that. But yeah, anyway, we'll carry on with the score prediction. There's still 15 minutes to the deadline, so make sure you don't forget, guys. Brentford and West Ham as well. Sunday. These are another Sunday fixtures. Where do you see Brentford and West Ham going? Both teams are probably pretty mid-table now. West Ham have improved their form in recent weeks.
I think I see a draw again. This one, potentially 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, West Ham did win, didn't they, on the Conference League on Thursday as well?
They did.
So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for West Ham, I think. I know they played midweek, so they may be a bit tired. So that actually maybe take that into account as well. But yeah, I'll back West Ham. Why not? 2-1 West Ham. Moving on to Everton at home to Man City. Obviously, Man City needs to get this win just for the title race. This could be their toughest game left away to Everton, who are fighting at the bottom. Obviously, Everton coming off the back of that big 5-1 score. Do you see any hiccup here for Man City, or do you think Man City will win?
There could be an upset. You never know. From Everton at home, but I think, I'm actually going to go different with this one. I think there will be an upset from Everton against Man City. I'm going to go with 1-1.
Oh, that's brave. I'm going to go 3-1 Man City. I think Man City, they're too good. I don't expect them to slip up now. I think they'll win every game in the Premier League from now to the end of the season, unfortunately for Arsenal. So, I think it'll be 3-1 City. Hopefully, Mahrez, obviously, as an owner, he can get me some returns. So, 3-1. And then moving on to Arsenal against Brighton. Obviously, Brighton coming off that shock result to Everton. And Arsenal and Brighton, we were looking at a few weeks ago, maybe thinking this was a tough game for Arsenal. So how do you see this one going? Do you think Brighton will bounce back? Surely they can't be as bad as they were against Everton.
No, they can't be as bad as Everton, I don't think, because obviously Everton had more to play for, I guess. I do see, though, Arsenal winning against Brighton, I think. But I do see Brighton winning, scoring a goal at least. So I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
Okay, 3-1. I'm going to go for 2-1 Arsenal, I think, because it's at home. Brighton haven't looked that great, I don't think, in recent weeks. Looking a bit more tired, some of their players. Maybe De Zerbi will switch it up, rotate a few players. I think he needs to. But I'll go 2-1 Arsenal to get the win and keep it going, kind of, even though I expect City to go on and win it now comfortably. And then moving on to the Monday fixture. It is obviously my team, Liverpool, away to Leicester. Leicester have been, conceding a lot of goals. Liverpool are on a 6-game winning streak. Can they make it 7 in a row? We'll have to see. Leicester have to win this pretty much. And if Leicester don't win this, they're pretty much down as well, really, with the way their fixtures are. So Leicester is a massive game for them. It's a big game for Liverpool as well to keep up the pressure on United and Newcastle, especially if Man United's result goes the wrong way or Newcastle lose, or United drop points. Liverpool will be even more important in that game. Do you think Liverpool can get the job done against Leicester?
Well, it's going to be surprisingly tough, I think, for Liverpool to get this win. Their away form is not as great as their home form, so this could be another upset game. They go with a draw this time, and I'm going to say 2-2, I think, again.
Okay. I'm going to predict a win for Liverpool, but I think it could be closer. I think it might be. I'm going to go for I'll go for 2-1 Liverpool win. I think Liverpool have goals in them, so I do expect Liverpool to score. Will they keep a clean sheet? Possibly not. But I think Salah against Leicester, I do back it. So obviously I have Salah as well in my team, so hopefully he can do the job. Moving on to Thursday, there is another fixture, obviously the double game week, the final fixture, and that is Newcastle kicking off to at home to Brighton as well. At 7:30 kickoff on a Thursday. What's your predictions for this game?
Yeah, another hard one. I think for Brighton, the home fixture for Newcastle, very strong for them. I'm going to go for Newcastle win because they need it more. And I'm going to go with 2-0 actually.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go for... a 1-1 draw. I think Brighton might nick something. It is a double game week for Brighton. So maybe they rotate and maybe they nick a point, which will be a massive point for them against Newcastle. So yeah, I'll go different. Be 1-1 draw for Brighton against Newcastle. But yeah, that is it from us in terms of score predictions. I need to do my transfers, so I don't forget. There's only 9 minutes left. And it looks like I am going to bring in Isak. I think that's where I'm going to go. And McAllister. I'll let you do your moves as well, Jordan. I'm going to quickly stop sharing my screen and then bring up my team. So yeah, McAllister out. Sorry, McAllister out. March out for McAllister. And Watkins out for Isak. And I'm probably going to captain Isak. I have thought about captaining Trippier. But I'm not, I don't know if I'm brave enough to go there. -4, obviously, because I only have one free transfer. I think that's the move I'm going to make. If we had Wilson news, then maybe Wilson. But if I had to pick one right now, I think I'm going to go Isak. So yeah, make transfers. March out. McAllister in. Watkins out. Isak in. -4. Confirm. There you go, guys. That is done. Also, I'll take Rashford to the bench. Save my team. I'll leave Rashford first bench in case. And I will captain Isak now. I think that's the way I'm going to go. That leaves me with triple Newcastle and triple Brighton as well as Salah and Trent and double Man City as well. So literally, I've got 4 teams, players from 4 teams, or triple City, double Liverpool, and then Newcastle, Brighton. So a lot depending on those 4 fixtures, really. So yeah, Jordan, let's do your moves. Lock those in if you want.
Yep. So Watkins is coming out. And to replace him is Callum Wilson. So let me just make transfers. So Watkins out, Wilson in for 1 free transfer. And that is confirmed. So yeah, and then Wilson will be the captain. As I haven't heard any news on, obviously, from Newcastle, so I'm just going to wing it. Just going to wing it, I think, to go Wilson captain. Hopefully it works out. Should do. If not, then I'll be very surprised if it doesn't. But yeah, I think that's the team going forward.
Okay, nice. So that's both our moves made. I'm playing a 4-4-2. You're playing a 3-4-3. Yep. Joe Davies, start Grealish or Shaw. Start Grealish for sure, and hope he starts. Jenny Berry, have a good week, everyone. Yeah, have a good week, everyone. Obviously, if you enjoy your weekend, guys, if you are, if you're doing anything this weekend, if you enjoy the football as well, a lot of football today. I'm actually going to be playing football later today in about an hour or so should be good. But yeah, hope everyone does have a good game week as well, because it is a double game week, and hopefully your team, your picks pay off. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any Newcastle news, so I'm assuming they both start.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think they will both start again.
Hopefully, anyway. FPL agent says he's got news that Isaac and Wilson both start.
Yeah.
Famo start one out of Kane, Rashford, Shaw, Martinelli. One.
Probably Kane.
Who's Martinelli? I have Arsenal play Brighton actually. Yeah, probably Kane. I mean, you've got a crazy benching headache there if that's your bench.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Good luck to all you guys. Yeah, good luck to everyone as well. Make sure you guys do smash a like button on the stream if you haven't already. And make sure you are subscribed to our channel as well if you are new around here and it's your first time watching. If you support the channel, all we ask for is your likes on the video. Jesus out for Wilson for me. Roller transfer. Okay, nice. But yeah, it's not long left to go now, guys. We've got about 4 minutes. Wilson captain as well. So another Wilson captainer in the chat. Interesting. Maybe, yeah, comment, guys, who are you captaining this week? Let us know in the chat. Are you captaining a Newcastle player or, are you going different? Maybe potentially. I've seen some people captaining Mitoma against Arsenal and Newcastle. I've seen a few Mitoma captainers.
I see why, because of March. I think Matoma obviously would be more attacking, you would think. So I see maybe why that becomes more of a popular pick now, Matoma.
Yeah, Mitoma. I mean, I've not thought about Mitoma captaincy, if I'm being honest, but could pay off. Are you going for a single game week? Haaland has Everton. And Haaland can put a couple past Everton for sure. Yeah, there are a lot. I have seen some Trippier captain as well. I've considered it myself. But the lack of clean sheets in recent weeks does put me off a bit. But I can actually see a clean sheet this week for Newcastle. At least one of them in those two games. So that does tempt me. I do think they'll keep one. But yeah. Trippier could be the safe. I think that Trippier probably is the safe play because he's going to start both games. Well, you don't maybe know that with Isaac and Wilson, but yeah. Yeah, 2 minutes, guys, till the deadline. Get your bench order in and your captaincy. Actually, hold on. I need to do my vice to Mitoma. Save your team. Actually, no, I'll do vice to Trippier. Why not? In case.
I put mine on Haaland.
Fair enough. Name one player that you don't have that will hit big this game week. Mine is Alvarez, says Ali Mac. Good question. Jordan, one player that you don't own that you think might do very well this week?
Bruno probably would be my one. I think he can do well this game week.
Or Bruno Fernandes?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Bruno Guimaraes. For me, I think I want to say like someone like Joe Linton, possibly. You might do something, I think, because he has a double. Yeah, I'll pick Joe Linton. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a Joe Linton in my team. I just can't fit him in. So yeah, I'm gonna go for another Newcastle player. In terms of single game week players, I like Liverpool. I like Trent against Leicester. Leicester, they've just conceded. I think didn't Leicester concede 5 goals to Fulham last week? So I do like Trent against Leicester. A lot of people have benched him. I think he could get a double-digit haul quite easily. Salah could be decent as well on penalties. Yeah, I think Liverpool could be decent in terms of scoring goals against Leicester's defence. I don't know if people watched that game against Leicester, but I don't think Leicester were trying against Fulham. The defence was just no intensity. So I do think Liverpool, that could be a high-scoring game, even though I've predicted a 2-1, but I don't know. Also, I think the Palace game could be high scoring against Bournemouth, like someone like Eze, Olise, etc., Zaha. But yeah, those games I think I'm looking at for me.
And the deadline is now up.
Oh, okay. There you go, guys. It is 11 a.m. So get your moves. I mean, you can't do your moves. Hopefully you've done your moves, and yeah, we'll be back again Sunday. I think next time up. I'm just looking at the fixtures. The last game on Sunday is actually Arsenal against Brighton at 4:30. We'll be back 7 p.m. UK time for the knee jerk stream on Sunday. So make sure you do join us straight after the Arsenal game. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any notifications when we go live. Make sure you ring that notification bell. Obviously, we are going to wrap it up here. But yeah, it's been a good one. I've enjoyed the stream. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed watching it as well. And good content. Keep shining. Yeah, thank you for your kind words. Really appreciate it. But yeah, we're back Sunday. And then we'll be back to normal for Gaming 37 content the following week. But yeah, that's it from us. Anything else you want to add, Jordan?
I think that pretty much sums up this game week. Hopefully you guys do well in your choices, your picks, and have a good weekend. And you'll find out Sunday on the knee jerk how we've all done. Hopefully most of us have got green arrows.
Yep. Take care, guys, and see you tomorrow for the knee jerk.